Hello, HIUS 713 students. I'm going to be talking tonight about an entrepreneur from the post-World War II era. His name is Ray Kroc, and he began the McDonald's fast food industry. Now, Ray was a milkshake machine salesman who would go around and sell his milkshake machines to smaller restaurants and businesses. And what he did was he met the McDonald's brothers who had just started to build more restaurants and were ready to branch out. And Ray Kroc saw a big opportunity with these McDonald's restaurants. So he purchased the rights to the name of the restaurant and all other franchise restaurants, and the McDonald's would only keep one of them. Well, Ray became a millionaire tycoon in the fast food industry because he wanted these restaurants to have uniform menus, a uniform quality of food. He wanted the employees to be well groomed, the service to be speedy, and each restaurant would be very clean, and the cost of the food would all be uniformly low. McDonald's hamburgers started off at 15 cents, and they would go up from there. Well, what happened with the fast food industry is it kind of played into with Paul Romer's article, Why Indeed in America? Now, Mr. Romer's article talks about why British entrepreneurs wanted to spend money in America and not England around the turn of the century. And one of the things that he discusses in his article is that you have the history of entrepreneurs without the theory. And then in other cases, you have the economic theory without more of the explanation or history. Well, in the mid-1950s, when the first McDonald's franchise was formed in Des Plaines, Illinois, in April of 1955, it played right into the culture of the 1950s, and you had these McDonald's restaurants popping up in suburbs because that's where they were initially built. And they would kind of cater to younger families who wanted to go out to eat cheaply. And with 15-cent burgers, you can buy a burger for the wife and children for a very low cost. Also, in the 1950s, you had automobile culture, where freeways were becoming big, and people would drive their cars everywhere to drive-ins and supermarkets. So McDonald's restaurants was just another place to drive to. Also, in the 1950s, you have the suburban culture, where these veterans that came back from World War II wanted to live in the suburbs because they wanted their own home, and they wanted to be close enough to a city and yet not live in the city, which gets us to the last article, where it's Wendell Berry's defense of a truly free market. And Wendell Berry's defense of a truly free market has a lot of food for thought in the article, because when we look at the cost of things, where basically everything has a cost, we look at the cost of the growth of these McDonald's restaurants, and we see that the low prices for the food at the McDonald's restaurants and the uniformity of the food basically drove out of business a lot of the smaller mom and pop type restaurants. So we've lost a lot of those things with the growth of the fast food industry. Also, with the growth of the uniformity and conformity of the fast food industry, You've also lost a lot of the regional food varieties in the United States. Before 1955, there were a lot of different regional varieties of foods and local specialties, and there's a lot less of that now with the rise of the fast food industry like McDonald's. So you look at the cost in like cultural things like that, and whether it's regional food varieties and small mom and pop type of restaurants, and most of them are gone because of Ray Kroc and the McDonald's restaurants. So those are some of the takeaways that I got from the articles. When Ray passed away in 1984, there were his personal wealth was $600 million, and there were 7,500 McDonald's restaurants in 31 countries around the world. So the growth of the fast food restaurant was phenomenal with his leadership. So thank you for your attention for this video. Have a good evening.